And then we're just going to today's presentation. So please do join in. Satnam Sri Vaheguru Sahib Ji. Ek Oankar Satnam Karta Purakh Gurpuraj Akarat Ajuna Sep Gur Prasad Jap Ad Sach Jugat Sach Hai Sach Nanak Hosi Pi Sach Vaheguru 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 Ji Ka Khalsa Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh. So first and foremost, thank you for coming today on this nice hot summer day. I'm quite surprised there's actually as many as you guys are here. Just a little bit about me. My name's Paramveer Singh from Birmingham. Maharaj Kirpa, this year I've been very blessed and honored to do Seva for Basics of Sikhi. Before that, I've been doing, you can say that, I don't know much about Sikhi. So often people think when they see someone with a beard, a kirpan, it's often thought that they're just born like that. It wasn't. So previous to COVID, I didn't keep my hair. Post-COVID, and you can say it was maybe due to, what was his name? I was going to say Trump. I was going to say Boris Trump, but that person doesn't exist. But for Boris Johnson, does anyone remember there were 2 lockdowns? There was one lockdown, then there was like a break for a day, then there was another lockdown. In the, you can say, break, I went to go to my barber's. And anyone who's cut their hair in the past or does so, they'll know that in a barber shop, there's at least 2 or 3 good ones, and there's usually one person that everyone tries to avoid. I got paired up with a person who I was trying to avoid. I didn't have it in my heart to say no, so I just made an excuse and I said, I'll come back tomorrow. Boris Johnson, lockdown, kept my gears. And then that was kind of my anchor. So with like everyone in the room, we've all got some love for Sikhi, but it's just having those anchors in place. So for me, the anchor of gears came there where my gears grew to a level where it was difficult to cut my gears. And I had an argument now that was strong enough to go to my family to say, look, it's done now. Marriage has blessed me now. Let's just continue with it. So if anyone's got any questions, just in terms of just any general questions, please do ask at any point of the talk. I try and make these presentations around the questions that I had when I came into Sikhi. So if something doesn't make sense, it's because I haven't done a good job at explaining it. So please do just stop me at any point, and we'll just cover it as we go. So today we're looking at the concept of walking with the Guru, just to piggyback on the katha that just happened, which was trying to summarize or just highlight the power of Gurbani. So, walking with our Guru. Now, does anyone know who this Guru is, or what this picture, this Sarup is trying to depict, which Guru is they're trying to depict? There's only a few, so it's easy for me to go boom, boom, boom. Anyone want to guess? Hanji. So potentially Guru Angad Dev Ji or Guru Ramdas Sahib Ji, Amardas Sahib Ji. Hanji. So this is Guru Amardas Sahib Ji Maharaj. And the reasons why I've placed Guru Amardas Sahib Ji Maharaj is because when I think of the reasons why we need a Guru, Guru Amardas Sahib Ji Maharaj comes at the very forefront of my mind. And this was a journey that I personally went on myself, where I was in India and I went to a camp recently, which was in Punjab, and we went to many Gurdwara that were historical Gurdwara around the life of Guru Amardas Sahib Ji Maharaj. So why do I mention Guru Amardas Sahib Ji Maharaj? Just from their picture, from their sarup, what's one description that we can say? What's one thing that we can say about Guru Sahib? Do they look relatively young or look relatively old? Relatively old, right? And when I did the Vaheguru course, or rather when I was an attendee nearly 6 or 7 years ago now, I remember an older Guru Sikh, who wasn't that much older, he was in his late 30s, he said to another person, he goes, when he sees Guru Amar Das Sahib Ji Maharaj, he gets a lot of haunsla, he gets a lot of, you can say, how would you translate haunsla in English? Those who are good at translations. Hope, reassurance, both go hand in hand. They get a lot of reassurance, hope, right? Because they see Guru Sahib and they see that Guru Sahib adopted Sikhi at a relatively older age in comparisons to the rest of the Gurus, right? And as soon as he said that, I started reflecting on Guru Har Krishan Sahib Ji Maharaj, right? Who are known to be very, very young, left this world at a very, very young age in terms of their physical form. So for me, and as we try to reflect in the Katha, we see that the Gurus, what's something that is unique to Sikhi and special to Sikhi is that the Gurus have shown us a pathway that we can all resonate with. So for those of us who feel like, oh, we've left it too late to connect to Maharaj, Maharaj has blessed us with the story of Guru Amar Das Sahib Ji Maharaj to say, actually, no, yeah, it's not too late, right? You've actually got a lot of time, right? Because if Guru Sahib could do it, and Guru Sahib can do anything, they just paved the way to show us how to do it, right? But that's not to say we have to wait at a older age. We can then take the teachings from Guru Har Krishan Sahib Ji Maharaj to say, actually, no, we can actually achieve that at a very young age. So that's one thing that is very special for me when I'm thinking about this journey of walking with the Guru. We can actually look at the Gurus and see how the Gurus actually connected with Gurbani, how the Gurus connected with the previous Guru that they might have done seva to, and following their footsteps, because there's a teaching that we can all get. So just very quickly going over the history of Guru Amar Das Sahib Ji Maharaj, because I just want to focus on other, you can say, key points that I find very, very special to me. So Guru Amar Das Sahib Ji Maharaj, they were a very devotional individual, right? In 12 years, they did a yatra to Ganga, which is going to the river Ganges, if you want to say it in English, having an ishnan, showering there. And they believe that if you was to, and Hindus believe this till this day, that if you were to go and do that, you become pure. You become pure externally and internally. Now, Guru Amar Das Sahib Ji Maharaj did this, and on one occasion, so that's nearly twice a year, right? So on one occasion, they had food with another sadhu, and that sadhu asked Guru Amar Das Sahib Ji Maharaj, they said, who is your Guru? And Guru Amar Das Sahib Ji Maharaj, they didn't have a Guru. What they were doing was they were following the traditions that their parents had followed and their ancestors. So there were these practices that would have started from however long ago, and they were just passed down generation to generation to generation, all the way to Guru Amar Das Sahib Ji Maharaj. So they said, I don't have a Guru. And the sadhu got up and left. And he said, I've committed a grave sin. I've shared a meal with someone who is a nirgura, right? Someone who doesn't have a Guru. And back in those days, it was a really bad thing. If you didn't adopt a Guru, if you couldn't say this is your, you can say spiritual master or someone that you go for guidance, you was actually seen as a lost child, as a lost cause. And Guru Amar Das Sahib Ji Maharaj, they took this to heart. They became very sad. They came, you could say, they had this yearning to connect to the Guru. They wanted to adopt a Guru. So this journey of adopting a Guru and following the Guru started with Guru Amar Das Sahib Ji Maharaj. And what we'll see is how Maharaj puts all, you can say, Guru Amar Das Sahib Ji Maharaj's life, you can say, pieces together at the, you can say, very end. Because this is something that we always find ourselves going through, where certain things in life come at us at different angles, and we can kind of piece a path, and we can put the puzzle together, and we can see the way in one way. So we got Baba Amar Das Sahib Ji Maharaj very sad at this point. So the search for the Guru starts. And what was very special here was, if I've got the, you can say, family tree, within Guru Angad Dev Ji's lineage, so the second Guru, right, you had Bibi Amaroji. And Bibi Amaroji got married to the nephews, one of the nephews of Guru Amar Das Sahib Ji Maharaj. So within Guru Amar Das Sahib Ji's family, there was someone that came from the household of Guru Angad Dev Ji, right? Just want to triple check that I've got that right. Yep. So, why is this so key? It's because it's Bibi Amaroji who is the reason why Guru Amar Das Sahib Ji Maharaj connects with the Shabad. And that's one thing that I try to highlight in the Katha, to say that the Shabad has always been the Guru from the very beginning. And it's those same Shabads that we have today in the form of Guru Granth Sahib Ji Maharaj, right, that we can connect to. It's never been any different. So Guru Amar Das Sahib Ji Maharaj, how do they fall in love with the words that Bibi Amaroji are reciting? So Bibi Amaroji are reciting Japji Sahib. And Guru Amar Das Sahib Ji Maharaj hears those pavitr words of Guru Nanak Dev Ji Maharaj of Japji Sahib and say, I want to go and meet the creator of these Shabads. So Bibi Amaroji said, unfortunately, Guru Nanak Dev Ji Maharaj have left their physical form. They're no longer here. But who is here is their successor, who's Guru Angad Dev Ji Maharaj. Then Guru Amar Das Sahib Ji Maharaj said, take me to them. And I just want to highlight the first connection for Guru Amar Das Sahib Ji Maharaj. It was the Bani of Japji Sahib. It was the Shabad. It wasn't the face, it wasn't the name of the Gurus, which would have been equally as beautiful. But for me, we can pick, you can say, the golden, you can say bullets in Itihas anywhere. For me, this is a golden bullet. For me, my personal connection with this is that this is highlighting the importance of the Shabad, where we know Guru Nanak Dev Ji Maharaj has made it clear that the Shabad is their Guru and forever will be. Guru Amar Das Sahib Ji Maharaj is on this journey of seeking to connect to a Guru, and they hear the words of Guru Nanak Dev Ji Maharaj, they hear the words of Japji Sahib and say, I want to go there, where the recitation of this Bani occurs. So, Guru Amar Das Sahib Ji Maharaj, when they go into the sanctuary of Guru Angad Dev Ji Maharaj, don't need to go into it. It speaks for itself. They do the Sangat of Guru Angad Dev Ji Maharaj and they fall in love. And they want to stay. They don't want to move away. They want to do the Sangat of Guru Angad Dev Ji Maharaj and serve the Sangat that is around Guru Sahib. One of the famous Sakhya that are denoted with Guru Amar Das Sahib Ji Maharaj is their seva that they used to do for the Sangat, which was collecting the water. And this is one thing that I saw in India, where there's a Pora Sahib, there's like a well, right, which you can go down and you can take, you can drink Amrit from, you can have an Ishnan there. We went and we did darshan of this, Boli Sahib rather. So this is Boli Sahib where this well is. And in the morning, someone came with like a golden gagar, which was one of these, so like a golden pot. And they took that water and they walked up the 84 steps where this Boli Sahib was backwards, all the way up. And that was to pay respect to this Sakhi where Guru Amar Das Sahib Ji Maharaj, to serve the Guru, would often go to the lakes, get the water for Guru Sahib and bring it back for Guru Sahib. But in doing so, they would never turn their back to Guru Sahib. So for example, if I wanted to take a glass of water for Siddhi Guru Granth Sahib Ji Maharaj, for those who have that loving connection to say, look, it's really hot, Maharaj should have something to drink, right? And you can do Bhog to give Maharaj that water. I might come here and there's a what do you call it, a water fountain there, take it and give it to Maharaj. But in doing that, I might not be conscious of where Guru Sahib are. And I might just do it without thinking. But what Guru Amar Das Sahib Ji Maharaj would do is, they would remember where Guru Sahib is. So for example, we know Guru Sahib is right there. So instead of showing our backs to Guru Sahib would have walked all the way back, got the water early in the morning where it's really, really cold, and went back to give that water to the whole congregation and Guru Sahib themselves. So their seva was very, very difficult. And remember, is Guru Sahib, you can say they're youthful, are they in their youth or are they in their old age? Old age, right? So physically, this was a demanding seva, right? But even at their old age, that's the seva that they took. What was the greatness of this? There was, on one occasion, Guru Sahib tripped And a lady shouted out, they said, look, who is making that noise outside? And Guru Amar Das Sahib Ji Maharaj said, it's me, Amar Das. And that lady shouted out to say, look, what are you doing here? You don't belong here. You're Nitava. You have no place being here, right? You're living in the house of your niece, right? You're living with your niece. You're living with your in-laws, right? You shouldn't be here, right? Your niece's in-laws, right? With what right are you staying here? You do not have a place here. Those words reached Guru Angad Dev Ji, the second Guru, and Guru Angad Dev Ji Maharaj called Guru Amar Das Sahib Ji Maharaj and said, look, people call you Nitava, I'm going to give you the biggest, you can say Tan, the biggest space that is possible in this world. And then next came the Gurta Gaddi, where Guru Amar Das Sahib Ji Maharaj became the Guru. Right? Guru Angad Dev Ji Maharaj said to Guru Amar Das Sahib Ji Maharaj, they said, look, don't you for a second believe that you don't have a space, right? You belong on, you can say, the highest authority, you can sit on the greatest throne that exists, which is the Gurta Gaddi. So Guru Angad Dev Ji Maharaj makes Guru Amar Das Sahib Ji Maharaj the Guru. And just to highlight, we've gone from someone who is without a guru, who has come and heard of the Shabad, has gone to the source of that Shabad, done seva of that place where that Shabad has come from, and he's been given the greatest honor that is there in this world for them. And that's something that we can do, right? We may find ourselves believing that we're the lowest of the low, which is a great trait to have as a Guru Sikh, because it's a sign of humility, right? But even if everyone's got skeletons in their, you can say, closet, right? It doesn't matter how big those skeletons are, as long as we're willing to come and sacrifice everything before our Guru. But what do we have to do? We have to earn and play that game of love with Maharaj. We have to earn Maharaj's love. We have to earn Maharaj's respect, which we've done to a degree, because it's because of our great actions that we're here in this room today. It's because of our great actions that we've been given this physical, you can say, human body, which is the only body that allows you to have the consciousness to connect with Maharaj. And we'll look at that throughout this presentation. So Guru Amar Das Sahib Ji Maharaj becomes the Guru, and Guru Amar Das Sahib Ji Maharaj are criticized by the sons of Guru Angad Dev Ji Maharaj. And just summarizing the Sakhi, Guru Amar Das Sahib Ji Maharaj are asked to leave, right? They leave after being kicked by Datuji, Guru Amar Das Sahib Ji Maharaj. Even then, they're the Guru, they're the King of Kings, and they've been kicked by Datuji, who is the son of Guru Angad Dev Ji. And even then, Guru Amar Das Sahib Ji Maharaj apologizes. They said, my bones are very dense because of my old age. You kicking me would have caused you more pain than it has caused me. And that's so much humility. Why do I highlight that? It's because for me, it's a quality that we should try and embed within our lives. It's great to learn the history of our gurus and the stories of our gurus, but to actually walk away with something meaningful is only possible if we implement the qualities that our gurus show and the teachings that our gurus show in the Sakya. Then we can implement those teachings into our lives. Then we'll get closer to Maharaj. So Guru Amar Das Sahib Ji Maharaj leaves the Asthan where they became the Guru. By Datuji sits on the Gurta Gaddi, says he's the Guru, but the Sangat realize that he isn't, because they don't get the Anand that they would get when they were in the presence of Guru Angad Dev Ji. So the Sangat go and say, look, we need to go and find Guru Amar Das Sahib Ji Maharaj. So that journey starts again to connect with the Guru. What happens here is that the Sangat go to Baba Buddha Ji, who is a great Guru Sikh. And Baba Buddha Ji were given the boon from Guru Nanak Dev Ji, which was that Baba Buddha Ji will always know who the Guru is and where the Guru resides. So the Sangat, they do an ardas to Baba Buddha Ji. Baba Buddha Ji said, look, let's release the horse of Guru Amar Das Sahib Ji and the horse would lead us to that place where Guru Amar Das Sahib Ji Maharaj are residing. So the Sangat do their ardas, similarly how we may do that ardas to Guru Sahib and say, look, Guru Sahib, we can't see you right now. We can't see that path. Please guide us yourself. Send a Guru Sikh, send a katha, send a book, send something that we can discover, read, listen to, speak to uncover this path to connect to you. They used Baba Buddha Ji. So the Sangat, they use Baba Buddha Ji, they use the horse of Guru Amar Das Sahib Ji Maharaj, and they come across a hut, you could say, where the horse stops. They look around, they see a sign, and there's a sign on the wall of a door, and the sign says, anyone who opens this door is not a Sikh of mine. So Guru Amar Das Sahib Ji Maharaj has said that no one can walk through the front door. So then again, this game of love starts, right? What are you going to do if your Guru has said, look, you can't come and see me through this entrance, right? Today we might break a window and try and go in, right? Similarly, that's what the Sangat did. Baba Buddha Ji, they created a sun, so you can say a little walkway, right? Like a little hole which you can go into, walk into and experience, have darshan of the Guru. So they created that and they found the Guru there. They found Guru Amar Das Sahib Ji Maharaj there doing their bhakti, and Guru Amar Das Sahib Ji Maharaj was so happy that, first of all, they listened to the bachans of the Guru, they listened to the words, they listened to the instructions of Guru Amar Das Sahib Ji. But then secondly, they used their brains, right? They used a way to break in and see the Guru. And that's what we need to do. We need to use what Maharaj has blessed us with, right? They've blessed us with a brain to actually go and discover Sikhi. They've given us tools. We now then need to use those tools and kind of break the barrier down that's there between us and the Guru. So I think that actually, let's try and mute this and play it. So you can go and visit this actual Gurukar. So remember when I mentioned that camp in Punjab? This is just a few clips from the actual Gurdwara, where to celebrate and remember this story, the Sakhi rather, the Sun Sahib is there. And the belief is if you do a Japji Sahib and do an Ishnan and do an Ardas and walk through that Sun Sahib, you'll get mukti, you'll get liberation, which is what we're trying to get. And you'll only know this if you come to places like this, as an example. Hanji. Hanji. Mm-hmm. Luckily for you, you get to do it again. For you, you can go again. Hanji. So it's like the hidden clause. Yeah, Hanji. You probably, I don't know how it specifically works, but in terms of that, it's about faith. If you went there and there was faith behind it, nothing really matters because you've gone there with pure intention. You see that time and time again, which if we've got time, we'll reflect on a story on that. But for this, there's an element of now where you've learnt this and now there's an extra special reason to go, especially since this is only a Gurukar that is maybe a 10-minute drive from Sri Harmandir Sahib. So it's not too far. Very easy to get to and go back to. So if it was somewhere else that was very difficult to get to in Punjab, then probably wouldn't suggest going there, but it's very easy, very quiet, and it's a beautiful place to go to. But yeah, so that's just a painting, not painting, I don't even know what to call it, but you've got Guru Sahib there just showing the Sakhi and the Guru Sikhs and the Sun Sahib in gold at the very top. And then these were the kids that were blessed enough to have an Ishnan, read their Japji Sahibs, do their Ardasa and go through the Sun Sahib. Okay, so that's there and then. What's important to us now is what we can do. So what we want to do is discover who our Guru is and how great our Guru is. And that's what these slides are aiming to do. Anyone want to guess who this is? With the Saroo? Hanji, Guru Nanak Dev Ji. And they were the first Guru. Yeah, first Guru. Chalo. All right. So the questions that I had when I came into Sikhi, the first question was, who is Guru Nanak Dev Ji? Right? Is Gurbani divine? Right? Are these words that we spend our whole life trying to understand, are they even from a greater realm? Or are they just pieces and works of another, just you can say, philosophy? And if those words are divine, and if Guru Nanak Dev Ji Maharaj are this Guru that my parents have spoken of, what was their mission? What was their whole reason for coming into this world? So, the first question can be answered by this. Suni pukara data prabh Guru Nanak jag mahe pathaya. Now, this highlights the reason why Guru Nanak Dev Ji Maharaj came into this world. The world had seen many, you can say, messengers walk this world. They saw many deities walk this earth. But the Guru themselves in a physical form did not come until Guru Nanak Dev Ji Maharaj. Maharaj Vaheguru did not come and do the seva that they did as they did when they came through as Guru Nanak Dev Ji Maharaj. They came because they listened to the cries of the humanity. Okay? But then this question becomes, okay, what were these questions? What was the cry? What was the need for Guru Nanak Dev Ji, right? Which will come in the next slide. The second question was, is Gurbani divine? And Guru Nanak Dev Ji Maharaj says, Jaisi mein aave khasam ki bani, tesra kari gyan ve lalo. But this is so unique for me, or rather so personal for me, is that we don't say that Guru Nanak Dev Ji Maharaj, or rather Guru Nanak Dev Ji Maharaj themselves, is not claiming that they're receiving these messages from another messenger. In other spaces, we'll see that this divine, you can say, or these divine words, they come from a messenger which has come from another message that has come from another message. For us, we're saying this Bani is coming straight from the realm of Sachai, right? And Guru Nanak Dev Ji Maharaj is saying, look, as it's coming, it's relaying. They're not saying this is coming from another messenger, right? And what was the mission of Guru Nanak Dev Ji Maharaj? Gur Parameswar Eko Jan. So, we've already defined what the Guru is, right? The Guru is the enlightener, the person who takes us from that state of ignorance to that state of realization of why we're here and what we're supposed to do. That's what Guru Nanak Dev Ji is doing, is to remind us that how to live that righteous way of living. Okay? So, the evidence to some of this, right? So the evidence for Guru Nanak Dev Ji Maharaj, A, being God, B, being, for me at this time, I still consider Guru Nanak Dev Ji Maharaj as a messenger. What makes Guru Nanak Dev Ji Maharaj so unique is the following, right? And this is just a very basic, you can say, overview, right? You can say this is like the most simplest piece of evidence for me, right? But yet one of the most compelling arguments, right? Anyone know these figures on the board? We've got left to right. Left. Next. Ooh. Zeus. Yep. Next. Buddha. Next. Shiva. Right? Okay. Just out of question, just out of curiosity rather, Buddha, who's seen Buddha as being bald? Okay. Same. Who's seen Buddha as having dreadlocks, as having hair? Okay, well, there's a depiction of him there of having hair. The interesting story with Buddha is that he tried everything to connect to God. At his as you can say, end of his journey of his spirituality whilst he was on this world, he started keeping his hair, right? You see this in all, you can say, spiritual ways of living. The Rastafarians, as an example, they keep dreadlocks. For me, at a very young age, I grew up watching shows and you can say history programs in school, learning of these guys. And for me, I could only notice their hair. You'll see this, especially in Abrahamic religions, when you look at Moses, when you look at Ibrahim, and even Prophet Muhammad, they're all depicted of having long hair, right? So you got all of the Abrahamic religions. You've got in Greek mythology all these individuals having long hair. I remember Medusa, right? I don't even know if I said her name properly, right? But she's got hair which turns into snakes. So I thought it was really cool. But for me, I could just envision her having lots of gears, right? And only the Devadevta, you pull up any Devta, so whether it's Brahma, Vishnu, Krishna, Mata, whoever it may be, you see them all having long hair. But do we see the followers of these religions having long hair? Right? I have many friends who are Christian, many Muslim, many Hindus, but they do not keep gears, right? Many Christians, right? And for me, it was the biggest nishani of Guru Nanak Dev Ji Maharaj being supreme. Because Guru Nanak Dev Ji Maharaj gave us that message of having gears from day one, right? And then obviously we reflect on the Amrit Sanchar that Guru Gobind Singh Ji Maharaj has blessed us with. In those Retname, in every, you can say, every ounce of Sikhi, right? Ever since Guru Gobind Singh Ji Maharaj, if you want to be a part of the Sikh family, right? If the Khalsa family, right? The biggest sign of belonging to that, you can say, Khalsa Panth is having gears. That's one of the biggest nishaniya, right? You got your kare, you got your kirpana, but one thing that stands out where if we were to stand on the streets and you could see a Gursikh, you could see them because of their gears, right? So then, and again, I'm not saying this is what Gurbani is saying, this is just literally my own thoughts. I looked at the possible reasons, and again, I'm not saying this is the reason, but why would everyone else keep this, you can say, power, right, to keep gears, keep this, it almost seemed like a secret for me. Like all of these individuals are keeping gears, but they're not sharing that message, right? It's because none of these individuals themselves are God, right? And we see that in their own, you can say, writings, or if you can say, the mainstream beliefs of these individuals, right? Especially if we just look at Shiva, right? They're seen as the most powerful Devi Devta, right? But even then, they say that, look, they've got a individual and a creator that is above them, right? So, as a kid, I would always think, okay, these guys know the secret of having the power of keeping their gears, but they're not sharing it because they themselves have something to lose. They themselves aren't the guru, right? But then, the creator themselves are never going to fear that, right? They themselves are the guru, right? They want us to become like them, and that's what Sikhi is about, right? It comes back to that pankti, Man tu jota sarup hai, apna mool pachan. Maharaj is saying to us, recognize that on the most simplistic level, there's no difference between you and God, right? The only difference is that we've identified ourselves with this body. But in reality, Maharaj has given, we call God Paramatma, right? The greater Atma. We say that we have the Atma, we have the, you can say, the fragments of Maharaj within us, right? And it's on that basis why we are all the same, right? Hence there's equality. Hence there is only one, right? Ik Oankar. That all makes sense because we're from that same creator. We've got the same, you can say, makeup as that creator, being that Jyot, right? And there's nothing different fundamentally between any of us here, right? But we see a difference, right? We see skin color, we see different, I don't know, body shapes, whatever it may be, right? Eye colors, names, we've identified ourselves and other people with a certain identity. And then again, so coming back to Guru Nanak Dev Ji Maharaj, for me, this made sense then. And it reminds me of a childhood story for me, right? Imagine, so my mom, she sent me to the shops one day, and she told me to get 5 things. You'll have to help me on this because I remember it once and I forget it. So, saag, dahi, bread, milk, and dal. Right, those are the 5 things. It was like a packet of dal. I ended up getting all of them apart from the saag. I ended up getting taniya. I asked the person as well. I was like, "Look, is this saag?" And he goes, "Yeah." And I was like, "It doesn't smell like saag," but I picked it up because he said it was saag. It smelled too fresh to be saag, right? It was taniya. I went back home and I presented that all to my mom. And my mom rinsed me for picking up taniya, right? She goes, "You've been eating it, but you still don't realize what it's made out of all this time." So my question to you guys is, from going to the shops and back, was my journey unsuccessful? Was it a complete waste of time? No, right? Because out of 5 things, I got 4 right. And that's what we say about these messengers, where, yes, you could say Maharaj had sent these individuals out to deliver a message, right? But just like my mother sent me, right, to do a job that she could do with 100% pass rate, Guru Sahib sent their sevak, their children, to do it, right? But just as I've made a mistake and was unable to complete that job, the same way these messengers have done the same, right? So in having said that, just like my mom then had to go kind of like argue with the shopkeeper to say, "Look, I don't know, what's more expensive? Is taniya more expensive than saag, or is it the other way around? Does anyone know? Saag's more expensive. I don't know what happened there then. But anyway, she had to go at him and say, "Look, give us the saag." He changed it, gave the saag, and mom was able to complete the job. And that's what I envisioned Guru Nanak Dev Ji Maharaj doing, right? God themselves came and said, "Look, let me give humanity the final, you can say, the message. The message of Sachai has always been there from day one, right? Because in Japji Sahib we say, Aad Sach, Jugad Sach, Hai Pi Sach, Nanak Hosi Pi Sach. So we're not saying that Guru Nanak Dev Ji Maharaj essentially brought anything. I want to be very careful with how I say this. The Sach has always been there, but that Sachai was lost, if you want to keep it at a very simplistic level, right? Guru Nanak Dev Ji Maharaj came and reintroduced Dharam, right? Reintroduced the righteous way of living, right? And they gave the complete teachings of how we can obtain liberation, right? So for us, we just need to look at this then. Who do we want to follow? Do we want to follow the likes of Guru Nanak Dev Ji Maharaj, right? Who is saying themselves that, look, they're no one, right? And the only reason why they've got any ounce of satkar or any ounce of power is because of Gurbani? Or do you want to follow other individuals, right? But I'll just leave that there. For me, Guru Nanak Dev Ji Maharaj and their message, and then the whole reason why Guru Granth Sahib Ji Maharaj and now the eternal Guru makes sense to me. Because they're like, okay, that makes sense. Guru Sahib came in, basically cleaned everything up. Now they've left us with the internal Guru. We've got the internal message that we don't need to change, that we don't need to adapt. We've got something that we can use and connect to that Guru, right? We've got the Pura Guru. That's one thing that we can say, right? So, maybe it comes, okay. So, just re-highlight the Shabad, right? Because a lot of people now see Guru Granth Sahib Ji Maharaj and say, look, Guru Granth Sahib Ji Maharaj are just words, right? It's just Bani. But this Bani is very powerful because Guru Nanak Dev Ji Maharaj said that their Guru is the Shabad and they're the Chella and they put their focus on that Shabad. So for me, we've got the equivalent of what Guru Nanak Dev Ji Maharaj had, right? Bani Guru Guru hai Bani, which Bani Amrit Sare, right? This is how powerful Gurbani is, right? This is how powerful our Guru is. This Bani is the Guru, right? This, so this order was blessed to us from the beginning of time, right? But this Bani is so powerful and so precious that it can create Amrit, right? Amrit is that state where you become immortal, right? You take that Amrit, you have started that journey of connecting with God, and it's that Amrit that is going to save us, right? There's different forms of Amrit, and that might be a topic for later to discuss, or potentially a different talk. But that's something that we have within us, and we want to try and grow it with the Shabad, right? And obviously get blessed with it with Khande Bate da Amrit if we're not already blessed with it. But this Bani has the ability to create the Khalsa, right? It's only with the Bani that with those Panj Baniya, that Japji Sahib, Jap Sahib, Twat Prasad Swaye, Chope Sahib and Anand Sahib, that can get this Amrit, right? This Amrit that is going to be our saving grace. So we've got the Guru giving us something now, right? And it's not just a message, it's something that we can actually touch and take, right? For which me is just the cherry on top. It's just that extra thing that Maharaj has blessed us with. So what is that whole journey? We're walking with our Guru, but where are we walking to? What's the end goal? What's the end destination? What does this look like? Raindrop, right? So we are this raindrop. We've got me, so I'm going to use myself, Paramveer Singh, and you got God, right? And this is our journey. We're trying to connect to God. Can anyone see what's stopping us? And it's a concept that's talked or mentioned in Gurbani many, many times. It's a play on words. What's between us and God? Okay. Hanji, got it in there. All right, ego, right? So it's our ego. And that's what we're trying to do. Because as soon as we destroy our ego, as soon as we recognize that, look, we're this Jod Sarup, right? Then we become one with God. So it's idea that, okay, this water has identified as this bottle. But in reality, it's not this bottle, right? It has the same power. It has the ability to cause an, tsunami, right? If it's merged with all of the water in the ocean, right? But right now, it's just mistaken. The water just considers itself just as a bottle. That's what we've done, right? We have forgotten that we are this Jod Sarup, that we are a fragmentation of Vaheguru, right? We're the same, right? But just as the water has identified as the bottle, we've identified ourselves with this body, right? We are trying to experience that Atma, right? And that's wrong for me to say in that way. A lot of people say that, right? We're trying to experience the Atma, but in reality, our Atma is experiencing this human body, right? There was a post on Instagram. It talked about how we approach spirituality. And one thing it said was, we approach spirituality with the lens of being a consumer. We're trying to get this spiritual experience. We're trying to experience this Atma. But in reality, we're not trying to eat at something. We're not trying to consume everything, right? We just have to try and take a step back and realize our true essence. And that's why we do Simran. That's why Amritullah is so important, because it's a time to switch off, sit down, and just experience what's within, right? And realize that, okay, that Jod Sarup, that's actually fueling everything. So that's what we're trying to do. So we're trying to get rid of our ego. Now, how can we do this? Because this idea of getting rid of our ego has been spoken of and about in many different ways by many different people. And we see these concepts in Sikhi as well, right? We describe this whole world like an ocean, right? We are trying to swim across this ocean. This ocean is full with, you can say, the sharks of Kam, which is our desires, Krodh, which is our anger, Lobh, which is our Kam, Krodh, Lobh, which is our greed, Moh, which is our attachment, and Hankar, which is our ego, right? You got these sharks. We are currently drowning in that ocean, or we're on the sidelines, and we know we have to swim across that ocean because we know that's where we'll meet Paramatma, Vaheguru, right? So what do we end up doing, right? This is a log, right? Can a log get to A to B? Can a log cross the ocean on its own? Does it have the ability to, if you was to just leave it there? Or imagine a smaller lake. Could a log get to one side of a lake from one side to the other side? Right? So I've got some yes, I've got some no's, right? If you were to leave a log there, the log would naturally float, right? Can the log help someone get from A to B? Just that one log on its own? No, right? So in this world, you'll have people that have the ability to get rid of their ego and connect to God, but they can't help other people. Okay? And then you got people like this, right? So, can he swim this ocean? Right? Some knows, right? But does he know how to? Supposedly, right? He's got on his chest swimming instructor, right? So he's got the Gyan, right? So he can tell people how to do it, but he's never done it himself, right? What are we trying to do, right? We're trying to pay respect and become a sacrifice to that guru who can swim across the ocean themselves, but not only swim across themselves, but can help others as well. So the guru can teach us how to do it, the guru has done it themselves, and the guru can help us swim across as well. That's who we are trying to fall at the feet of, right? Aise guru ko bal bal jaiye. So I'm a sacrifice to such a guru. Aap mukta hove tare. So they themselves have got this mukti, and they themselves are helping everyone else cross this ocean, right? Because we see this natak, we see these plays of the gurus themselves doing bhakti, they show us how to connect with Guru Sahib. So for example, Guru Tegh Bahadur Sahib Ji Maharaj, they did bhakti for 26 plus years at Bakala Sahib, but was there any need for them to do that Simran? They were already one with God, but they did it to show us how to connect. Guru Nanak Dev Ji Maharaj themselves used to have a Pothi Sahib. They used to have, if we want to use the English term, a book. And in that book, Maharaj would write the Bani that they would recite. Did Maharaj need that Pothi? No. But rather, Maharaj showed us the importance of making notes, right? Where there's vidya about our Gyan, about how to connect with Maharaj, that's something that we should note down and keep in our treasury. And that Guru, for us, currently is Guru Granth Sahib Ji Maharaj, right? And forever will be. And it's always the Shabads, right? So the Shabads of Guru Bani. Now, just because of time, I won't be able to go into this with the in-depth that I would have liked to, again, potentially for a different talk. But I just want to focus on the Satkar of Guru Granth Sahib Ji Maharaj, where, and this is all very important stuff, but I just want to focus on the importance of Sri Guru Granth Sahib Ji Maharaj. So the stuff that I've had to unfortunately just gloss over were the reasons why Guru Arjan Dev Ji Maharaj blessed us with Sri Guru Granth Sahib Ji Maharaj, right? The main reason was because there was an individual that was making Kachi Bani, right? Kachi being, you can say, false Bani, right? How would that look? It may be a few Shabads, and it will have maybe the Shabad Nanak at the end, which will look like Gurbani, right? Someone like me would not know the difference between real Bani and Kachi Bani. I'll have to go on Gurbani, Sikhi to the max, and actually do a cross check to actually see, okay, is this the words of God or is it not? Now, Guru Arjan Dev Ji Maharaj then used this opportunity to bless us with all of the Sachi Bani, right? And blessed us with Guru Granth Sahib Ji Maharaj. And they themselves, when they formed the very first form of Sri Ad Granth Sahib Ji, they showed so much respect to them. And one of the things that you can still see to this day is if you go to Akal Takht Sahib, you'll see Guru Granth Sahib Ji Maharaj's bed, right? And in Sachkhand, you'll also see a white sheet underneath. And you can sometimes see this at certain gurukars in the UK. I've seen this in camps that I've done seva at. At first, I just used to think it was just a random chadar, right, that people just put out because just want to make it look more respectful, just for aesthetics and show that extra sign of respect. But it's meant to show where Guru Arjan Dev Ji Maharaj would sleep. Guru Arjan Dev Ji Maharaj would sleep under Guru Granth Sahib Ji Maharaj, right? So this is the satkar that Guru Granth Sahib Ji Maharaj had from the Gurus. And that's how we show that same satkar to Guru Granth Sahib Ji Maharaj at a very fundamental level, right? Like one of the, you can say, primary reasons is because our Gurus showed us, our Gurus told us to do this. The concept for me in terms of Guru Granth Sahib Ji Maharaj being our Guru, living Guru, and serving the Guru as a living entity, for me comes second. The first reason is because the Gurus did it, right? If we believe in Guru Nanak Dev Ji Maharaj being complete, and we believe Guru Arjan Dev Ji Maharaj to be complete, and Guru Granth Sahib Ji Maharaj to be complete, one of the first steps, right? And it's because it's something that I struggled with when I was coming into Sikhi, because people would say to me that, look, God is sitting in front of you, but it'd be very difficult for me to digest that because I was looking at Guru Granth Sahib Ji Maharaj through the lens of the world, right? To say, this is just no different to the Bible or the Quran, right? But we just show it a lot more respect. But rather, Guru Sahib showed them so much respect, so hence we should as well. And then when you see the amazing stories of Guru Granth Sahib Ji Maharaj, which again may be a topic for a later talk, we build that love for Guru Granth Sahib Ji Maharaj, where the actions of treating Guru Granth Sahib Ji Maharaj with the respect that they rightfully deserve becomes unquestionable. So why do I highlight this slide? And the reasons for this is because if we believe that Guru Granth Sahib Ji Maharaj, who's just across the building right there, is our Guru, right? Today, I want to know what my Guru said to me on the very first, you can say, Prakash, right? When they gave darshan to the whole of humanity, what was the first thing that they said to us? And the first thing that Guru Sahib said to us was, Santa ke karaj aap kholoya. That Guru Granth Sahib Ji Maharaj is saying that Vaheguru themselves, or rather, I will resolve all of the affairs, right? Whose affairs? Of those saints. Right? And what does it mean to be a saint? A saint is just someone who follows the words of Guru, who just follows the teachings of the Guru. Santa ke karaj aap kholoya. Right? Har kam karavan aya Ram. That Ram, Vaheguru, have come to resolve all of their tasks. So every time I go into a darbar and do an ardas, I get so much hope, right? So much haunsla from this. It's because this was the first message, right? Out of all of the hukamname that we could have been blessed with, this was the first blessing that we got. And for me, this is the first teaching that Guru Granth Sahib Ji Maharaj has given to me. That we see is like, Maharaj, I remember your first message. So then any problem that I have in this life, any question I have in this life, I can just go to Maharaj and say, look, I know you're going to have my back as long as I keep my part of the bargain, right? As long as I try and act as a sant, right? And a sant is just trying to act in the way that the Guru has taught us to, which everyone knows, right? Especially for those who come and go through Guru Kar, right? But when we learn our itihas and we learn Gurbani even more, then the ability to act like a sant or adopt the qualities of a sant become easier, right? Hence the importance of Sat Sangat, right? This is only possible to comprehend due to Sangat, right? I myself only came across this hukamnama and you can say this teaching from Sangat, right? From an elder Guru Sikh that said, okay, by the way, did you know this was the first hukamnama, right? Just in casual conversations. Okay, so hopefully you can see where this is going. If we want to build a connection with our Guru, if we want to walk with our Guru, one of the key things that we can do is build the relationship with our Shabad, right? With the Shabad that we're blessed with. Just a question, right? Does anyone know the first Shabad? We'll wrap up at 8:30. So that gives me, how long does that give me? This one's to turn on. All right, so I've got 10 minutes. What's the first Shabad in Sri Guru Granth Sahib Ji Maharaj? Come on. Japji Sahib, okay. First word. Mool Mantar, okay. Ik is the very first Shabad. Ik, this is how simple Sikhi is. Ik is everything that we need to comprehend and understand. When we have darshan of Guru Granth Sahib Ji Maharaj, the first message is Ik. The first message that Guru Nanak Dev Ji Maharaj brought to us was Ik, right? Everything else, so Ik Oankar, and everything else is just an extension and an explanation of that Ik, right? There's a saroop, sorry I haven't put it here, but of Guru Gobind Singh Ji Maharaj, and this Oankar kind of goes back into the Ik to kind of show the whole creation is coming back into that creator. But what tools have Maharaj given to us to realize that Ik? Now, we have Ik Oankar, which is known as the Bij Mantar, right? It's known as the roots, right? The roots essentially have everything. A tree that grows out to be very big has come from very small. All of the instructions to become a great tree is from the seed. That's from Ik Oankar, right? If you just focus on Ik Oankar, you're doing bhakti of all of Guru Granth Sahib Ji Maharaj, right? So for me, and currently right now as well, I really want to understand Guru Granth Sahib Ji Maharaj, or like to believe one day I could. Probably never will, right? Unless Maharaj blesses me. But we don't need to we don't need to make that leap, right? What we need to do is actually understand that everything has come from here, so we can achieve the same from just doing bhakti on Ik Oankar, or even just the Shabad Ik. But how does Japji Sahib help us? Just as we have a root, and just as we have a stem, that stem is Japji Sahib. Japji Sahib connects the entirety of Guru Granth Sahib Ji Maharaj to us. So you know how in science you can say textbooks, or forgot what you call them now. Read loads of them at uni. What do you call them? We have an abstract, or like a summary. But you know how we have an abstract or a summary? Japji Sahib is that summary for us. Japji Sahib has the entire knowledge that Guru Granth Sahib Ji Maharaj has to offer to us, right? And it's just an explanation on an explanation on an explanation, right? Hence why Japji Sahib is given so much importance, right? Hence we say that Japji Sahib is the Bani that gives us Brahm Gyan. What is Brahm Gyan? The enlightenment of connecting to the Guru. So all we really need to do is go on SoundCloud, search. For those of us who can only understand English like myself, is search Siri Japji Sahib Gatha in English, and we'll come across a playlist that has 40 videos, 40 hours of content, which is essentially giving you a summary of who your Guru is. The understanding of this is your Guru and this is the teachings, right? That's all it is. Then if you want to go into the ocean and discover more, that's there for you as well, right? Hence, Japji Sahib is the first prayer, right? Again, Sikhi is very obtainable, right? If Japji Sahib still feels too big of a task to attempt right now, start with Ik Oankar, start with Mool Mantar, right? Because Oankar is just an explanation of Ik, right? And the whole of Mool Mantar is just an explanation of Ik Oankar. The whole of Japji Sahib is just an explanation of Mool Mantar, right? So we've got the same power, right, in the Bij Mantar and the Mool Mantar, as we find in Guru Granth Sahib Ji Maharaj. And I forgot what I had a thought in my mind. Sikhi can be very concentrated at times. As an example, Sukhmani Sahib has 24 Astapadiyan, right? And that is to directly reflect 24 hours in a day, right? Where the Sangat went to Guru Arjan Dev Ji Maharaj, they said, bless us with such a Bani that would be the equivalent of us sitting down and reciting Vaheguru, Vaheguru, Vaheguru with every breath. Guru Arjan Dev Ji Maharaj said, at Amritvallah, if you were to recite Japji Sahib, for us that may be the equivalent of listening to Japji Sahib for now, right? And then building the ability to read, Sukhmani Sahib. If you recite the entirety of Sukhmani Sahib at Amritvallah, you'll get the same fal, the same rewards as reciting Vaheguru with every single breath, if you was to do that the whole day. So these, you can say Jugti, or you can say these sprinkles of fairy dust are found in our Itihas, and it just highlights how powerful Bani is, right? Okay, so how are we doing for time? All right, just to highlight small elements of Japji Sahib, right? Japji Sahib is a collection of, you can say, answers, right? More than anything, that Guru Nanak Dev Ji Maharaj gave to the Siddhs. The Siddhs would question Guru Nanak Dev Ji Maharaj. Guru Nanak Dev Ji Maharaj did not walk into the rooms and say, oi, Siddhs, let me teach you something, right? Rather, it was the other way around. That's something that's very unique to Sikhi. Maharaj answered questions, right? But within Japji Sahib, we find these questions as well. Give Satiara Huye, give Gure Tutte Pal. Where in Japji Sahib, the question is highlighted, and something that we all have is the question of, okay, how can I become Satcha? How can I become truthful? How can I destroy the veil of illusion that is preventing me to experience Guru Sahib? That is preventing me of identifying with God, right? Because right now, we just think with this as bottle of water, right? How can I become Satyara? The other thing is phir ke agge rakhiye jit dise darbar. What can I give to my Guru to see their court, right? Another thing you can say is actually just to have their darshan. What should I give him? Should I give him £100? Should I give him £1,000, right? Should I just give him a lot of atta here, right? Or flowers? Like, what do we give Maharaj, right? Mohoke bolan boliye jit sunat tere pyar. What can I say to invoke Maharaj's love, right? Because again, this whole process is walking with the Guru and playing this game of love. Maharaj gives the answers as well, which I hope are on the next slide. Hanji. So, what are the answers? Well, for most of them, right, or nearly all of them, right, is Amrit Vella Sachno Vadiyai Vichar. Maharaj is saying, during the time of Amrit Vella, do vichar, right? Praise Vaheguru. Remember that Creator. Now, what is Amrit Vella? Amrit Vella are the ambrosial hours in the morning, right? So if you want to take them to be 3 a.m. to 6 a.m. because it's the quietest, right? And it's the easiest time to connect with the Guru, right? It's not limited to that. It can be earlier, as early as 12 p.m. or 11 p.m., right? All the way up to 6 a.m. The limit isn't there. But Amrit Vella is any time where you feel connected to the Guru, when you're listening to the Guru. So this is a type of Amrit Vella. Amrit Vella is when you're on, you could say, your deathbed, because you know you've only got a couple of days or a couple of weeks. Now you're going to start remembering Vaheguru. Amrit Vella is our youth, because when we're young, we can do a lot more Simran, we can do a lot more Seva. But the biggest Amrit Vella, and sorry, for me anyway, the biggest Amrit Vella is this human body. Because it's only with this human body that we can chant Maharaj's greatness and connect to Maharaj. It's the only form that we can do bhakti with, right? And hence we say, out of the 84 lakh June, the human body is the most supreme, right? Because it's the only one that has the Dasam Dwar, right? which is the you can say the sense to connect with God, right? And just to very quickly go over it, what is the Dasam Dwar and how can we channel our Dasam Dwar? It's the same as considering someone who's walking around with a blindfold, right? Imagine trying to explain color to someone who's blind. It's impossible to do. That person can only experience color and vision if he actually takes the blindfold off, or her, the blindfold off. In the same way, right, the action of untying that blindfold and seeing light is the same that we need to do. It's the same thing, it's the same process. But rather, we've got a blindfold on our Dasam Dwar here. And those who have taken that blindfold off and have connected with that creator, they're telling us how to do it. Who are these individuals? They're the Mahapurushas, right? They're the great Guru Sikhs that we meet in the Sangat. But most importantly, it's our Gurus who have done that. And they're telling us as well, right? Do bhakti, do seva, right? Do simran, because it's these actions that are going to get rid of the mela that is surrounding you, right? And which will allow the process of connecting to God to occur easier. Is that making sense? Yeah. Tika. All right. Hanji. Hanji, so that is one, as in that's what most would say. As in Bhai Gurdas, I believe it's in Bhai Gurdas Ji's Vara as well, where those specific times are highlighted. The other thing is a bed before sunrise. So it'll be like an hour and a quarter before sunrise. So essentially, it's to keep it very simple, any hours before sunrise, because it's the most quietest and most peaceful time that we can connect with Maharaj, right? But the other thing is, with Sikhi, we don't want to be fixated on the rules too much, right? We need to have a red to keep us anchored. Just like at the beginning, I said, look, I had the anchor of Gas, right? So Amritavila is that anchor, that spiritual practice in the early hours in the morning that Maharaj talks about. Maharaj talks about the importance of getting up and doing an Ishnan, the importance of doing Simran, the importance of giving something to Maharaj at Amritullah, right? So if you can do it at 3 o'clock, great, 4 o'clock, great, 5 o'clock, great. But if those hours are physically impossible due to work, maybe something else, right? Then as early as possible, right? And then hence it can be between 12, 1, 2, 3. But you're not meant to cheat, right? It's not like I'm going to be playing games all night and then just do my Amritullah and go to sleep, right? That doesn't work, unfortunately. So that's the Dasam Dwar that we mentioned. And this is my final thing, right? It's the golden ticket, right? We've essentially won the golden ticket. We've won the lottery, right? What Arjan Dev Ji Maharaj says, you've been given this human body. It's your chance now to connect to that creator that you've been trying to since the beginning of the creation, right? No other, you can say, action will help you in life, right? Nothing will. Mil sad sangata pajkevalanam. Come into sangat, right? Specifically sad sangat, the sangat that's going to remind you of Vaheguru. Do their sangat, fall at their feet, right? Do their seva, and most importantly, come together and japanam, right? That's the ultimate way of connecting to the Guru. Okay. How long do I have? All right, this is final 5 minutes. Sorry for not sticking to the original timing. The power of Gurbani, it just comes back to that again. The reasons why I wanted to end it on these, you can say, select few slides, is because often we come into Sikhi with the lens of, let's say, the world, right? And from a worldly lens. We hear Sakhiyan of individuals like Baba Deep Singh Ji fighting without their, you can say, head, right? The head at on the palm of their hands, and fighting endlessly and walking a very long way and then obtaining their shahidi. And at times, it can be a bit difficult to connect with that Sakhi, right? But those powers can be experienced today. And what I mean by that is the following. So if we just go to Guru Tegh Bahadur Sahib Ji Maharaj first, everyone's probably come across the story, right, where Guru Tegh Bahadur Sahib Ji Maharaj became shaheed, where the sword did not touch their neck, right? But how many of us know about the story where Guru Tegh Bahadur Sahib Ji Maharaj were shot on the command of their nephew and a masand called Siha Masand, right? So Guru Sahib was shot, right? But that bullet just touched Maharaj's forehead and dropped, right? Why do I mention this? Is because before this, Guru Sahib did Bhagati for 26 years at Bakala Sahib, right? Why is this so important? It's because my question to you guys is there anything different between this scenario and this scenario? Does anyone know the story with Bhai Sahib? Because we're coming to that time as well, to 1984. Okay, so this is by Menga Singh Ji, right? And one of the accounts that is documented is that Bhai Menga Singh Ji were the first shaheed of 1984. And what's something that is very beautiful to walk away with is that Bhai Sahib were shot in the forehead. But Bhai Sahib did not die on the spot. What Bhai Sahib did was, they recited an entire Sukhmani Sahib from start to finish. Now, is there anything different with that and this? For me, there isn't much. So whilst it's potentially difficult to relate to those Sakhiyan that we hear whilst we were growing up of Baba Deep Singh Ji, which have happened, right? I'm not trying to cast any doubt. I'm just trying to walk around things that I've seen on social media myself, right? Whilst that may be difficult, and I can appreciate that, for me, if we accept that Guru Sahib can do it, and Guru Sahib showed us the way, which is to do seva and recite Gurbani, then obviously this can happen, right? Bhai Menga Singh Ji did that. They lived their whole life doing seva, right? They lived their whole life doing Simran. And as a kid, they would always talk about obtaining shahidi, doing that, you can say, act for Maharaj, to say, look, Maharaj, I want to give my life to you. And even on, you can say, the Antim Sanskar, for me, I see them smiling, right? I see a ruh that is very bright, right? That is shining. Now that's documented by subduing an entire Sukhmani Sahib after being shot, right? Now, this may be difficult, relating to Baba Deep Singh Ji may be difficult, but for me, relating to this is slightly easier, because this is only, 42 years ago now, right? So if they can do it, why can't we? We've got the same Bani, we've got the same seva opportunities, right? So we can do that. And the Bani hasn't changed, right? That Bani that has come from Sachkhand, Turki Ai Bani, right? That Bani that has come is with us now in the form of Guru Granth Sahib Ji Maharaj, right? And this is only one account. This is probably one of the most famous accounts. This happens time and time again, countless times again. And then we can see the lives of, you can say, the Mahapurush that have walked this world, right? Chalo, and I believe, sure, I'm just going to be here for too long if I carry on with the rest of the slides. But if you guys are interested, I could probably do a part 2 on this and continue highlighting the rest of the slides. But Odda, I want to wrap it up here and then open the floor for any questions. So we can do a bit of a jar for the next 5-10 minutes. Then after which, there'll be 5-10 minutes for anyone who would potentially want to ask a question after. But whilst doing the talk, I would have made many mistakes. If I've offended anyone in any way, please do forgive me. It wasn't my intention. So, Pul chuk maaf karna. Vaheguru ji ka khalsa. Vaheguru ji ki fateh.